This live stream is presented to you by Maxspeedtv. All live streaming content that is presented in this telecast is owned by Maxspeedtv, Rudy Cummings, and the entire crew of MSTV. This may not be rebroadcasted, retransmitted, and retelevised without written consent. Please enjoy today's broadcast. As this pace car scoots itself onto pit road, 1 hour of racing getting set to go green. We're up and away here at Daytona. Insurance in case of a bump and run. Checkered flag. Head Parker White will win here at USA. He won the race. Oh, here we go. Oh, man, I got talked. I can't believe it. This is crazy. The 4 wide. Here we go. The 4 wide for the lead.
He waited to 1. Oh, starting to shuffle towards the back. We're going to go 3 wide here to 3.
No, it's on the wall. It's 2011 again. And again, Grindle has checked himself out to a 1.5 second lead.
He's coming. Here comes Sarge. Here comes on the bottom. And through the triangle they go. And after winning the dirt late model race last night, Carson Poindexter wins 2 in a row at Talladega.
ACOG presents to you the 4th annual Daytona 250 live here on Maxspeedtv from the 2.5 mile superspeedway Daytona International Speedway, the season opener for the Platinum Cup Series. My name is Dewey Schramm, along with Ezekiel Reyes. Glad to have you on board here for tonight, and it's going to be a good one. Can't wait to see what we end up with here for a race tonight.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it, man. I'm excited. It's the 4th time we've run this superb race. Of course, 100 miles here around Daytona International Speedway, man. Last winner, Daniel Falkiam's unfortunately not here, nor our last 2 winners, Peter Kenny and as well as, I think it was Charlie Byer. So, we're going to have a new Daytona 250 winner here tonight.
Yeah, guaranteed to have our 4th winner in the 4 iterations of this event. Kind of hard to believe it's already been, or we're already on the 4th one. Feels like yesterday Charlie made that big move to win the inaugural race, and here we are in 2023 on tap for race number 4. So cannot wait again to see what we come out with and how this all goes, but it'll be 100 laps and 250 miles around this super speedway, so a half distance race compared to the real Daytona 500. So there'll be strategy, there'll probably be some wrecks, there's going to be a little bit of everything, but when all the dust settles, there'll be one person taking home the checkered flag. We will see who it ends up being, and of course after those 100 laps. Have about 6.5 minutes left here in practice. David Bachman tops on the speed charts, with Kealoha Hankins right behind him in the 72. See a custom Dodge template there on tap tonight. An interesting choice, but I respect it.
Yeah, we'll drag in a couple people into the booth. I want to go ahead and drag in a couple of drivers to see on what their thought process is coming in here for tonight. We'll drag in this number 2 of Aaron Mulrooney. Hey, Aaron, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got a copy, Zeke.
Aaron, well, you've been in a couple of these 250s. You were in the 2nd iteration under the iScar banner, but here tonight, another 250 gonna go into the books. What's your plan here for tonight?
Honestly, I really don't have a plan for tonight. I mean, the end goal is to obviously win, but I think for the beginning parts, I'm just gonna play it out, see how the field's running. Definitely work on just fuel conservation, so that way I can just extend how far I can go and see where the road takes me, I guess.
Alright, about 10-4. Any sponsors you have on board you want to thank here before we take the green flag?
Yeah, Nexus Esports, Vans Tire Pros, and the Shake and Bake team.
Alright, about 10-4. That's Aaron Mulrooney Jr. Good luck for tonight's event, man.
Thanks.
Back in another person, that 84 David Bachman, who was leading the charts into the booth. He goes. Hey, David, you got a copy?
what's going on, buddy? You sound a lot better than last night.
Yeah, just a bit. I'm still coughing a bunch, but regardless, David, you're leading charts at the moment as you get slammed in by the 27. But, yeah, what is your thought process here for tonight?
Just gonna have to pretty much chill. These cars are very finicky, so yeah, my game plan's just to relax, hang on to the draft, and when we get closer on the last fuel run, be there hopefully at the end.
All right, bud, 10-4. That's 84, David Bachman. But before we let you go, any sponsors want to take here for tonight?
Yeah, I want to thank the two people next to me. Guys, do you have any thoughts tonight as you're currently P24 in B fixed? Oh God. Yeah, it's a fun time in the household tonight. So thanks to my roommates and his wife.
All right, bud, 10-4. That's David Bachman, 84. Good luck out for tonight's race, man.
And good luck to the roommate in B-Fix as well, apparently.
Yeah, we'll drag in man of personality into the booth goes Jackson Menchu. Hey, Menchu, you got a copy?
Yes, sir. Right here.
Yes, sir, man. That's Jackson Menchu in the 17 here for tonight. Man, a 250 gonna go into the books. How are you gonna survive for tonight?
I don't know, man. I don't think I've ever done one of these. And what is this, the fourth edition of this race? You know, it's a big event. Obviously, if there's any big ACOG race you want to win and check that empty box off for a race you want to win, it's definitely this one at Daytona. Big race. You know, I'm very excited. A lot of people here. I'm excited to be part of it.
All right, bud. Any teammates you have here on the racetrack you're gonna be working with?
Yeah, man. Obviously, you want to have a good group to work with. Me, Justin Hadakonis, and Rowan Gill of Logan Cozy Driver Development. We're doing really well. We've had good speed all week. You know, we do more road course stuff now, but it's always fun to come back here at Daytona and work at these super speedways on Maxspeedtv. Nothing better than that.
All right, bud. 10-4. That's Jackson Menchu.
Right.
But before we let you go, I just want to thank you for tonight.
No, man. Just glad to be here. Thank you, Keyboy, for the hosting. I wish everyone a good broadcast.
All right, bud. 10-4. That's Jackson Menchu in the number 17. We'll drag in one more person to go ahead and before we transfer over. I'll be the 70, Harry Grindle, into the booth. Harry, you got a copy?
I've got you.
Hey, Harry, man. I see you're currently running in. Looks like you haven't logged in the lap, kind of chilling in the
I haven't, no.
Yeah, Harry. 250 gonna go into the books. I know you don't typically run the Cup car, but here tonight, $100 on the line. How are you gonna win it?
Well, I mean, there's a few different ways that one could approach this race. In my duel, there were two strategies that seemed to work. There were those that were going balls to the wall up front, and as much as they were in a few wrecks, their cars seemed to take the hits and mostly come out okay. Not everyone did, but a lot of them did. So these cars can take a bit of a beating. Or the other one, which is what I opted to do in the duel, is kind of stay back, try not to be in the crashes, and as much as, you know, the car is quite durable, not risk it. And I think I'm going to lean more towards that side, trying to stay not too far back, but kind of far enough off the lead pack that I've got time to, you know, get down on the apron and do whatever to avoid a crash and hopefully still be there at the end.
All right, about 10-4. That number 70, Harry Grindle, running that, of course, kamikaze machine in that 70. Before we let go, any sponsors want to take care for tonight?
Yeah, as you said, Kamikaze, obviously, Centered Hosting and Soyo are sponsors. Hopefully I'll be able to give them a good running tonight.
All right, about 10-4. That's Harry Grindle in the number 70. We'll go ahead and see you come to the next race, Smith. I mean, come to...
Yeah, see ya. Come and get the race, yeah. See ya.
All right, that'll be it here for pre-race interviews and such like that. But, man, we got a bunch of people.
Indeed we do, and it's already been a pretty good start to the year for Harry, of course. He won the Triple Challenge a couple weeks ago and picked up some cash as a result of winning that, so might be trying to add to his winnings here this season. Tonight, of course, the winner of tonight's event will walk away with $100, so who wouldn't want to win this thing? And I know Harry, one of many that are here tonight and are going to try to get it done. About 45 seconds or so until our lone practice session wraps itself up. Of course, you've already had the duels this week, so now it is time for the granddaddy of them all, the big race, the Daytona 250, which of course will take place in just a couple of short moments. Any last thoughts before we get going here?
I'm excited. Get this race going, please. I want to see who's going to win it.
Absolutely. We got, I think, 30 to 40 guys somewhere in there in the session. So It is quite the diverse and stacked field here for tonight, as the practice clock will hit 0. So we're now one step closer to getting this bad boy started. But before we do, we'll scoot ourselves off to the side for just a brief moment to play the national anthem. So rise up and remove those caps as we salute our nation's colors. Welcome back here to Daytona International Speedway as we get ourselves one step closer to taking the green flag for tonight's Daytona 250. Practice has just wrapped itself up, and we are now in the qualifying session. So now we'll get to see who will lead us to the green flag for tonight's race. As we're going to look here at James Bomar in the 23 machine, making his way off of turn 4. Nobody yet to set a time. Of course, just started this, but remain to be seen who decides to take a lap, who decides to be aggressive and try to start up front, and who maybe will try to start towards the back and maybe hope to avoid some early calamity.
Yeah, we'll have to see about that. I mean, it's a 100-lap race. Long race here for tonight. 39 drivers here on the racetrack to spend it out for $100, so... $100 race, huge payout on the line. Otherwise than that, I mean, I'm looking here through our last 250 results. Last time we ran the 250, our first iteration came with looks like actually this is not the 250 I was looking for, but last time we ran a Daytona 250. The first iteration, which was won by Charlie Byer, that had 5 cautions. The next one only had 4, but after that, in the next gen, we had 10 cautions. So we averaged a caution every, 10 laps in that one. We didn't go into overtime though, but yeah, we had a bunch of cautions last time.
I think a lot of people were also still trying to figure out the next gen when we ran that race. It was still. I don't think it, or we'd like, okay, I'm just not gonna be able to speak anymore. But I think when we ran that race, it wasn't that far removed from it being introduced as the ACOG. So I think a lot of people were still a bit unfamiliar with it and they were still tweaking with it. But now that it's been the ACOG for a year and they've been able to make a lot of adjustments, I think a lot of guys are more comfortable running this car now than they were at this time last year. So it should be, I think, a more clean race, a more organized race than last year's iteration. As we have about a minute remaining now in qualifying, 43 of Wilkerson currently tops on the board. We'll see if anybody can take him down over these last 50 seconds.
Yeah, man. I'm excited. Of course, the next gen plate racing is just so vastly different due to the fact that side drafting and all those shenanigans play a huge factor into how this really ends up to be. But man, Justin Johnson seems as though he's not even Looks like he wants to start in the back, hence why he's hitting the brakes.
Might have decided that he wouldn't be able to make it around for the second lap, because obviously your second lap is almost always faster than your first one.
Yeah, that
So
might be right. Good call.
Probably didn't think it was worth it to run the lap. And it looks like we're going to have only 17 people take a time here. So over half the field electing not to take a time, as Herbert Solomon's going to come up just... I think he might have gotten it in just barely there right before the session ended. As we are gridding ourselves up, folks, it is time for the Daytona 250. And we will get you our starting lineup on the bottom of your screen. Drum roll, please. And leading us to the green flag will be Jacob A. Wilkerson in the 43. Congratulations to him on picking up the pole here for tonight. And leading off the outside lane here for tonight, seasoned vet William Schmidt in that 79.
Yeah, round number 2 is going to be Justin Adiconis, Carmen Caruso. That 08, one of the rookies here for tonight.
Rounding out the top 5 will be Aaron Mulrooney in the 2, one of those we interviewed just a few moments ago. And to his outside will be Rowan Gill in the 28.
And row number 4, it's going to be the number 54, Zach Todriff, James Belmar in the number 23 right alongside him.
And rounding out the top 10 here for tonight's starting lineup, Miles Nelson and the 00 will be in 9th. And rounding out the top 10, John A. Smith in the 19. Rest of the order will be scrolled along the bottom of your screen. Pick your favorite driver and hope they do good, or maybe even take the win and the $100 here for tonight. 39 cars, I believe, will take the green flag, so a very stout and deep field here for tonight's event. Which one will take home the prize?
Man.
A lot of good names as you scroll back. There's Kilowa Hankins back in 23rd. Justin Johnson, 25th. Triple Challenge champ Harry Grindle. Glenn Bundren back here as well. There's David Bachman rolling off 34th. All the way back here to the rear of the field. 38 strong here for tonight as we get ready. Get out onto the racetrack. Get this thing underway.
Alright, field starts to roll itself out. 2 pace laps we're going to be running here. So, get everybody settled in as we get EOLs placed on the racetrack and such. Gonna see a lot of people taking some EOLs to get themselves to the back. Some of these drivers don't want to be a part of that, front back. Especially we learned off of that first 250. We saw a lot of people wreck it up front.
Indeed, we did. Race analysis here on your screen. 2.5 miles is this Daytona International Speedway. Time of day is the afternoon session. Pit road speed 60 miles per hour, so if you have some green flags up, that'll be something to keep an eye out for. These guys try to get those cars down to speed. The fuel window will be running 40 to 45 laps. Should be a 2-stopper here for tonight. Of course, that very steep banking, 33 degrees in the corners. 100 laps here for tonight. Come out to 250 miles. Half the distance, the same distance, of course, as real-life truck series races. Here, I am stoked for this thing to get going.
Yeah, I mean, last winner, of course, was Daniel Falcon here at this event. This is the first Queensbank event as well. All these drivers are going to have to do whatever they can to pick up some points as well. Running for the championship.
And of course, Daniel Falkingham now has graduated to the Coca-Cola Series. Joe Gibbs. So good luck to him as he embarks on his maiden season there in that series. A lot of former Coke drivers have taken part, not just in this event, but in ACOG races in general. So Falkingham, the latest name to add to that list. see if maybe anybody here in tonight's field potentially making their something down as well. 38 strong taking the green tonight. Jacob Wilkerson, first of those on the speed charts, and that 43 will lead us to the line in just a moment.
Yeah, that number 43, he was a, coming in here as a rookie in here for tonight. Right alongside of him, that's William Schmidt, known iRacer on hosted events. So that number 79, SKS Motorsports, they look to take a good green flag and hold themselves a nice finish here for tonight. Otherwise than that, here we go. It all comes down to this. 38 drivers, 100 laps on the line. Time to go.
Here we go. The field makes their way out of turn 4. Pace car is going to scoot itself down on the pit road because we don't need it anymore. Jacob Wilkerson, William Schmidt are going to lead us to the green, and it is out. We are underway here at Daytona for the Platinum Cup Series season.
Yeah, honestly, we really haven't talked about the season overall. A bit less races than we run than usual. Usually we run either 15 or 20 races in a season. This one only just 12. So points are going to be very, very valuable here throughout this whole entire regular season. So not only for this event being a payout race, this event with a lot of cars here on the racetrack can be very, very important.
And of course, the way the point system is structured, the points are handed out based on the amount of drivers that show up to races. So up to 38 points plus bonuses on the line for the race winner. So for those that are in here tonight that plan on running the full season, it is imperative that they run well tonight. Because of course, there's no guarantee that we're going to have this many cars each and every week. So you want to get those points where you can, as Wilkerson will take lap number 1 here out of 100. Todrick from the 54 making his way up in the second.
Yeah, for this first, I'd say 10 laps. You're going to see a bunch of drivers, a bunch of no-names really lead this thing. They're, of course, trying to get a handle of how this is all going to be by the end of, this thing. But at the moment, still a lot of people still in this lead pack, but no aggressive moves being made. It's all just looks like top 10 all single file now.
Yeah, really no reason to go all out and be aggressive this early. Just try to get the first part of the race, underway and out of the way, and then maybe readjust later on. As Wilkerson lead once again. Todrick right behind him in second, and Nelson times 2. Miles and Jace third and fourth.
Yeah, again, looks like way calmer of what we've seen compared to the last 250 in the first Next Gen race. A lot of people didn't really give and take that whole entire first run. But this time, everybody single file here on the bottom. They just want to log in some laps and get themselves around this racetrack. But only really side-by-side action at the moment. There's been, looks like this is the number 32. I think it's been the high side. No, never mind. That's the 23 of, that's James Bomar. He's working here with the 19, but they're currently really not going anywhere. But now we got a high side kind of forming up. And that Ford jam up this high side just a slight bit.
I think that's Jace in the 27. They've got trouble behind them in the middle of turns 1 and 2. Caution back out for the first time tonight. Looks like 2 cars down onto the apron. The 40, Paul Reyes, and the 37 involved as well. I believe that might be Glenn Bundren. And, oh, don't high center yourself.
Oh gosh, that is...
Oh, there you go. That was a bit close there. And again, first caution here on lap number 4. Oh, Glenn, don't do it either.
That's Paul Harrell, actually.
Oh, Paul Harrell.
Oh my gosh. Dude, you might just back it up.
Buddy, gotta back it up, man. Well, while he figures that out, we'll get a look and see what brought this yellow out. Pretty early one here. Harrell running with Jacob Dudai in the 94. Looks like this happens ahead of him.
Huge checkup.
Yeah. Yeah, Looks like a bit of net code there between Dudai and Reyes, but something had happened. Did somebody spin, or what was the deal here? 40 just slowed down for some reason. Don't really know why, though.
I mean,
maybe the 89 hitting the wall, perhaps you saw that, but...
Yeah, but, I mean, nothing really Jacob nor really Paul could do off of that. That was just such a bad checkup. Luckily, not a lot of damage for both of these guys, but, I mean, regardless, it's just a awful, awful checkup.
I think somebody hit the wall slowing down for this as well. I couldn't quite get the number.
Yeah, it was the 70 of Grindle. You'll see him come up here. Oh, you're already past the wreck, but Harry actually jammed on the brakes to get around this event, and you'll see him hit the wall in the process, but luckily just not a lot of damage from him.
Wee bit ironic, of course, he was talking about in his pre-race interview how these cars can take a bit of a beating. I guess maybe he's testing the waters out to see how much of a beating they can take here pretty early on. So he'll come down pit road, get that damage fixed up. We've got our first pit stops of the night here on lap number 6. There's Harold in 37 getting some of that damage repaired. Quite a few guys staying out as well, but a good chunk of guys already making their way down the pit lane.
Yeah, that was one of the worst checkups I've seen, especially on a super speedway, but everybody's just trying to, you know, get themselves in line, and all of a sudden you see a big checkup out of nowhere, kind of unexpected. And Jacob Dudai, he tried the best he could, and unfortunately just really couldn't do it. Really couldn't do anything off of that.
Weird, because usually, of course, when you see a checkup, it's, you know, maybe for somebody spinning, but nobody actually spun there, and perhaps a bit of an overreaction from the 40, but again, those hits weren't that hard, so all three of those guys should be good to go for the rest of the night. And thankfully, it happens towards the rear of the pack and not towards the front, because obviously, it's towards the front of the field. That could have involved a whole lot more people. Never want to see that this early on in a race of this much importance. Should get the one to go this time. These guys make their way off of pit road. So they'll rejoin. Oh, Paul. Oh, boy. Came out a bit too hot there. Wilkerson still out front. Has led every lap so far. And indeed, we get the one to go. So they'll double up here this time. And we'll go back green momentarily.
It's like Eduardo Munoz, kind of black flag. It's like pitting with one to go. So the thing about like pitting with one to go, Eduardo's gonna get like cleared. To pit with one to go, you have to hit pit road when pit road opens. So you're gonna be eligible to pit with one lap to go. But if you pit just with one lap to go, you're gonna get a black flag off of that. So Eduardo has to keep that in mind.
And of course, a lot of guys you'll see top off with one to go, but most of those guys will have already made a pit stop under that caution. You can't just come down to top off if you stayed out previously. So he'll get that black clear, but he'll, of course, have to go to the rear of the field here for the restart. You see a couple of guys take the backstretch chicane under pacing. So it'll be Wilkerson leading us back to the green, Todriff to his outside, Miles Nelson, Bingham, and Jace Nelson round out the top 5. So we got the Nelsons on the bottom here for the restart. See if they've got anything here for Wilkerson.
Alright, so off to yet again the same kind of start like what we saw in that last 250 first caution, averaging just about every 10 laps. Green flag's gonna come out though.
Pretty harmless spin, of course, and I would think that they'll probably try to get back down to single file as quickly as they did prior to that first caution. as Miles will get himself up in second place, and the outside did not get a good jump at all. Those guys, including Todriff, well, I would say they're going to lose a lot of spots, but Jason and another car both move up to the top side, so scratch that. Double file for the lead, and now Jace will go back down to the bottom.
Boy, they're taking it 3 wide already. Right, we're in the middle portion. That's Sertage in the wall.
Oh, that's
there
risky.
they go.
Uh-oh.
Oh, it's Mulrooney.
And hard into the wall goes to 2, and this is going to be a much bigger wreck than the first one was. Caution is back out here on lap 8. 2, one of those in it. 49 of Sartaj had gotten the wall. As soon as that purple car of Sartaj had gotten into the wall, I knew that wasn't going to end well. They all just ran out of space. And we'll get a look, see what brought this out.
Yeah, Sartaj got in the wall.
I think he had a run and went to go high with it, but he hit the wall by accident when he went to do it. And when he hit the wall, it just stacked up everybody. Perhaps the 19 didn't expect him to do that and didn't give him that much space. Hard to tell. Run's definitely there, but yeah, I think the 19 didn't expect that. Nothing Mulrooney could do. The 20 also involved. Looks like Schmidt got a piece of that as well in the 79, our outside pole sitter. The 8 does a nice job of avoiding that. 36, looks like he got a piece as well. I think that's Kai Gomes. So again, a much bigger incident than our first one. But it didn't look like people took that big of a hit besides Mulrooney. Just got hooked straight into the outside wall. But a tough break, of course, for those involved nonetheless. We'll have a parade of cars right back down pit road again here on lap number 9.
Yeah, I mean, that sucks for Mulrooney. That's a waste of a night. You're only not even in lap number 10, and Mulrooney already eliminated off of tonight. Did get a meatball flag off of that, so he was only here to pull it in for the win, and gets eliminated off of one driver's mistake, and that was Sertage. You know, being kind of reckless off of that whole entire ordeal. And unfortunately, Sertage is kind of done for. He too had a meatball flag off of that, but I don't know how long it's gonna take.
Yeah, that's really tough for Mulrooney, especially. We've talked to him, of course, pre-race, and mentioned, of course, how he wanted to see the pack race and, you know, spread themselves out, and he ends up being the one getting the most damage in the early wreck. So this night is over really before it started for that 2 machine. Qualified up in the top 10. And here on lap 10. Pretty much done for the night. Not the way, of course, he wanted his evening to go. Of course, as with everybody else involved in the incident. So we'll get the 1 to go this time. Wilkerson still out front. Miles Nelson now joining that 43 on the front row. Jace back in 3rd with Bingham, and Todriff rounding out top 5. So both of the Nelsons have had pretty solid runs so far tonight. See if maybe they could perhaps work together as the night progresses.
I think the 49 of Sertage actually didn't get a lot of damage, so back on the racetrack he goes. And the 2 of Mulrooney was unfortunately did kill a toe off of his machine, so he's for sure done.
Yeah, once the toe links on these cars break, there's really nothing you can do at that point. So a tough break there for that 2 machine. They'll have to try again next week, perhaps. Going back green here in just a moment. 2 cautions already in just the first 10 laps. Hopefully we can get a bit of a run here upon this restart. But I mean, I was talking pre-race. A lot of guys, of course, during the last 250 still weren't familiar with, you know, the next gen and how it drives. But maybe it's just a tough car to figure out, because I mean, it's been the A car now for a year, but you still see some issues arise sometimes with the way people race. Pace car back down on pit road. Green flag back out here. 89 to go at the line.
It really is a hard car to figure out, though. I mean, it's the next gen. It's a very complicated car to kind of resort yourself around and get yourself a good type of run, I guess you could say. But at the moment, I mean, man, some aggressive racing up front. All this side drafting is really bottling. Oh, another wreck toward the back.
Oh, jeez. Caution number 3, and it's Paul Harrell in the 37 again for the second time tonight. The 32 also involved. So already, caution number 3. See what occurred here. Not clear.
Hell no, not clear. Luckily, nobody.
And Sartaj involved again as well. Not his doing this time. But 37 saw an opening on the bottom, but the closing rate of those behind him was too great. And you got to keep that in mind when you go to make moves like that. Sometimes you can't, even if the gap looks like it's there, it can be very deceiving. And you probably shouldn't sometimes, even if it looks like you can. And that is Munez in the 32, also getting the majority of that damage. So a really rough start to the night for both Sartaj, Munez, and Paul Harrell. All of them now, multiple issues, and we're just 12 laps in, so hopefully they can have a cleaner rest of the night here on out.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what the 37's doing. He's disconnected and out of the race, but Eduardo, he has a meatball flag. Looking at his car, I mean, at the moment, I really don't see too much damage on his car.
He took a pretty big hit, though.
Yeah, he did take a pretty big hit, but I don't think he broke a toe off of it. If he did, I think, unfortunately,
probably gonna be the end of the night if he did.
Yeah, I really don't see it though. Mulrooney's already disconnected from the session, but
right. So, a couple guys, including Eduardo, back on pit road. So another early yellow here in tonight's 250, the third one, just the first 11, 12 laps. See how much required this 32 has, but maybe a lengthy trip down pit lane for him this time.
yeah, it's man, I don't suspect it's gonna be too much damage, but I didn't see the toe like completely knocked out. I guess it's still gonna be a lengthy stop for him though. But Eduardo, luckily this is the next gen, so he should be able to get that thing repaired like Sartaj did, and get it back on the racetrack. But Paul Harrell, obviously the culprit of that incident, is not here in the session anymore, so
yeah, I mean, these cars can take, more of a beating than the previous A car, of course, the Gen 6, but at the end of the day, you still don't want to get into a wreck with one.
right.
And you're not always guaranteed to escape with a raceable car after getting into a wreck, even if you have a more durable car like this one. But hopefully Eduardo can get that thing fixed up and get back out there. Still much of the race to go, and even if he loses a lap or two here getting this fixed, of course, at the rate of cautions that we have so far, should probably be able to get a lucky dog or two, get himself back in contention.
Yeah, it looks like I mean, he's already back on the racetrack, so that number 32 was, man, he's already setting his sights on on the green flag, so doesn't have a meatball flag anymore, so he'll catch another caution and pull himself back onto, you know, back onto race pace by the looks of it. So he'll just, I think at the moment we're averaging a caution every 8 laps, or every 7 laps. This is our third caution.
Third one. Well, 5 laps.
5 laps
really.
actually.
Yeah. Of course, 9 of the 14 completed have been under yellow. Hopefully, don't want to have that pace continue for the entirety of the night. Nobody wants to run under yellow that much. Sometimes, of course, that's just how it happens. But still plenty of time to change that and to get a good run going. We'll have 85 laps still remaining once we cross the line next time by. So still a large chunk of this race remains in front of these drivers.
Yeah, of course.
See Eduardo and Sartaz try to catch up.
34 cars on the lead lap. The people who are laps down are actually DNF'd. So, it's actually Dominic Howe is actually being displayed 1 lap down. Not really sure how he got himself 1 lap down, so regardless of that, here we go, coming to the green yet again, lap number 16. Hopefully we'll get a green flag run in this time.
Wilkerson, the Nelsons, Bingham, and Todriff round out the top 5 as they did on the previous restart. Takes car on to pit road, and we are back underway here on lap 16. Hopefully, again, we get a bit of a run going. As Miles in the 00, he'll file down to the bottom behind his fellow Nelson and Jace. They swap places. Jace up to 2nd, Miles down to 3rd. Top 4 already single file as they make their way out of turn 2. And never mind, Todriff making a move up to the high side now to lead this outside line. Already quite a bit of jostling for position down the back straightaway. Don't want to cause a wreck by doing so. But Todriff looks like he might be able to take the race lead away out of turn 4. He's got help from James Bomar and John A. Smith in that 19. And it looks like at the stripe, we're going to have our first lead change of the night. And it'll be Todriff in the 54 taking over that top spot.
Yeah, he has a huge pusher right behind him. That's 23 of Bomar, but they're going to drop to the bottom. Yeah, actually, all three of them do.
Interesting. That leaves Bingham really all by himself up top with only 2 cars hooked up behind him. 89 of Herbert Solomon being one of them. A couple cars look like they're dropping down onto the apron, perhaps getting out of harm's way. As Todriff continues to lead here into turn 3. Oh, bit of contact there. John A. Smith and Wilkerson. Looked like for a second the 19 may have been on his way to being turned, but thankfully was not. Todriff will lead another here at the line. See if Bomar maybe decides to jump up top and take that lead away.
Yeah, James Bomar, I think that's a WRC name. I've seen that name somewhere, but Bomar, obviously a stout racer, and that number 23 being second in line at the moment. Todriff in the 54. I thought that was Frimpong actually in the 54, but no, it was Todriff. Todriff coming in here as a rookie, showing a good display of driving at the moment, keeping himself up front, but here comes that second line, that number 93, Bingham, trying to side draft that 23, getting himself to the front.
Yeah, we see a lot of races here in ACOG where it almost seems to be the rookies versus the veterans, and it's always interesting to see which group tends to finish towards the top. Sometimes you get races where the rookies tend to finish well, sometimes you get these veteran-dominated races, so we'll see which of those it ends up being here tonight, but so far, the rookies are the star of the show.
Yeah, and you typically see that as the winners go 3 wide because of it. Oh, oh man.
I thought he was going to get in the sucker hole, but I don't know if he forced his way back up or if Bingham just did him a huge favor, but either way, the 54 will lead the high side still, but the top 3 all jump up there, and Jace is not clear, and he puts the 54 in the wall, but they all keep it straight somehow. That's going to throw this entire main pack into calamity here. All still going in the right direction, thankfully, and narrow a version of disaster there for Todriff and Jace Nelson.
Yeah, Nelson was a bad clear up. He wasn't clear, and he put that 54 or one of those guys nearly into the outside wall. But now we're starting to 54's on the wall.
Boy, yeah, got in the wall again. Herbert Solomon almost got into the back of him there. As Kilo Hankins in the 72, he'll go down to the inside. As James Bomar now assuming the race lead for the first time this evening. See how long he can keep it up there. Looks like top 5, 6, all single file now around the top side of this racetrack. Oh, and a bit of a squirrely bump there from Jace into Wilkerson. A couple more guys moving down to the bottom, as does Wilkerson and John A. Smith and Bomar. So a lot of guys are switching lanes repeatedly here. Interesting strategy where we see this 3-4 guys all at the same time move up and back down and all the runs.
Yeah, everybody's trying to control the pace right now as Nelson is kind of left by himself. 93 of Bingham doesn't want to be on his rear end to really control that high side, but look at everybody. We're right back up to the high side. Oh my goodness. Kind of a mind game at the moment. Looks like an NR AI race. Top of the straightaways and bottom of the corners.
You see Hankins in the 72 now leads that bottom line. Can't quite tell who the car behind him is, but I think Kiloa started around 25th or so. Already in just a short period of time has got himself up into the top 5 here this evening. Good run for him so far.
Yeah, that's the 9 of Trafari. Trafari running in the optic scheme. He's doing a nice job pushing the 72, but haven't really had a dominant, a really dominant way of really controlling this main pack. And no two cars are, keeping a line fourth. But right now, I mean, looks like Bomar and Smith, they might have gotten this outside line. And it looks like Bachman's going to elect out of it. He's sideways.
Oh, boy, that's
oh,
risky.
My gosh.
Oh, no. And up into the outside wall he goes. I couldn't get the number on the car that hit him.
Oh, it was Rowan Gill.
And he's going to go right down pit road, the 28. I'm sure there's a lot of damage now to his car.
Oh, now they're wrecking.
We got trouble in the tri-oval as well. Bingham is around in the 93, and he gets hit again. Caution is back out. A lifesaver there for Rowan Gill.
Rowan has a meatball flag, unfortunately.
And what in the world happened here?
Ooh.
Looks like Jace got turned by the 8.
Yeah, kind of pushing the pusher there.
And nowhere for Bingham to go, and he got hit again. I can't tell who that was that got him. A couple other cars with damage as well, but looks like they just bottled up here on this high side. And Jace checked up for the 89. 20 pushes the 8 into the 27. Down into Bingham. And nowhere for Justin Johnson to go in that 33.
Luckily, no meatball wrecks. No meatball flags off of that, but that was more of an accordion incident. You see, really nothing that 20 could have kind of seen off of that, but everybody hit everybody. Yeah. You saw the 89 once he checked up, 8 got into Wim, and the 20 then got into him. And
you see Justin started to slow down, but then Jace came back up the track, and still trying to see if anybody else got involved back here. As we'll also get a look here at this incident with Bachman, who got out of line here and then got down to the apron, lost it, and came back up the hill, and Rowan Gill just plowed right into him with nowhere to go. So, a really tough break there for the 28. And of course, he was going down pit road to get this damage fixed, and then the wreck in the tri-oval happened. So, a huge break for him, assuming he didn't get a meatball flag off of that incident. So quite the interesting sequence of events there. Puts us under yellow for the 4th time tonight after the longest green flag run of the evening. As we'll have completed 25% of the race next time by. Still not in that fuel window, though. Of course, estimated to be 40 to 45 laps, so it would be probably one stop from here if you pit now.
Oh yeah, most likely one stop from this point forward.
So of course, if we have overtime, it might not be enough on that one stop. That will remain to be seen. But a majority of the field down onto pit road. Looks like a lot of guys electing fuel only. And it'll be Hankins first off pit road. Johnson already off pit road as well, despite the contact with Jace.
Looks like Rowan. That looks like a toe on his end. So that's probably 8 minutes of optional right there. But he's the only guy who's probably going to be laps down. So it's not over for him, but he's going to have to make up a lot of ground by the looks of it. Rowan is. That's a shame. I mean, David, I'm not really sure what David was doing to opt out, entering entering turn 3 like that, and he just wiped out Roman in the process. And
yeah, I don't know if he got shuffled out of line. I don't know what the deal there was, but if I had to guess, he didn't let off nearly as much because, of course, when you're on the apron, you don't have the benefit of the banking to keep that high rate of speed, so he probably just didn't let off enough going into the corner on the apron, and he just lost it and went back up the hill. So a bizarre incident regardless.
Oh man, so it looks like that doesn't look like as much damage as I thought, and he's back out on the racetrack. So I can't believe it. That car, I thought it was done for. But I mean, let's go ahead and kind of check the other side and see what kind of.
That right front looks like it's in pretty rough shape still.
Yeah, that right front's still in rough shape, but I mean, he doesn't have a meatball flag, which is kind of surprising. But looks like I guess he's not out of it yet.
And the benefit, of course, is with how long a pace lap takes around this racetrack. If we have another caution or two from here on out, you can really get, about a minute of optional repaired under a caution. So if he's got maybe 6 minutes left, if we have 6 more cautions, he can easily get those remaining 6 minutes repaired up. And his car could be almost brand new by the end of the race, and you never know what that could lead to. So definitely not out of it despite the damage. Not ideal, of course, either. Never say never with that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So Sartaj and David trying to catch up to the rear of the field here. As we'll go back green here on lap 27. James Beaumar's done a nice job up towards the front tonight. He'll lead us to the green here in just a moment. John A. Smith to his outside. Wilkerson, Todriff, and Montez Dioka. I apologize if I'm pronouncing that wrong. Now he's up there as well with Herbert Solomon, rounding out the top 5 in that 89.
Yeah, Montez Dioka, at number 24, had a nice showing in the duel. Curious to see on how this 24 is going to try to pull himself through the field and maybe lead this thing, but...
Trying to become the second number 24 to win this week, of course, after Alexander Hyder won the Bronze Series race on Wednesday night. Green flag back out, 74 to go this time by great start for Beaumar, and he'll jump right up to the top side.
Yeah, it looks like Beaumar and John Smith, those two guys, they're working really well. And they're going to easily pull this outside line forward, but it's off a restart. So, not outside line. Still has a bit of speed to really gain off of it, but we'll see if Beaumar can do a good job of, maintaining that high side and, start trading around here. But here we go. A couple people, they want to drop down. Never mind.
Oh, they thought about it. I think that was Frimpong, and they can't tell the car behind him. Briefly went down to the bottom and then jumped right back up to the top. Frimpong down to the bottom again. He's got Justin Johnson in front of him in 33, now leading this bottom lane. And Justin had just gotten that damage as well from the wreck that just put us under yellow, so clearly not affecting that car that much, and he's already trying to control this inside.
Yeah, Rowan, by the way, is very much off pace.
Yeah, he's going to need a
have
couple
to
more
catch
yellows.
caution. Yeah, he's going to have to catch caution. Dominic Howe is still a lap down, too.
Oh, Montez Dioka got out of line there on the high side out of 2, but kept it going. Thought for a second that may have been a spin. Top 6 or so single file with Justin trying to make some headway now on the bottom. Still with aid from Frimpong, and he's got the 6 behind him as well of Ataconis.
These were the two heads that collided in the 300. Coming to the line, it was Justin Johnson and Mark Frimpong, and now they're working with each other, so whatever to get yourself $100. Yeah, I know.
walked away with that $100. So you can always work with somebody for a good portion of the race, but you know, once you get to those late stages, it tends to get every man for themselves, because again, only one person's getting that money. It's not being split anywhere, you know, none of that. As you see Rowan Gill down on pit road getting more of that damage fixed. The thing's just way too off pace in its current form. And here comes that bottom side. They're making some good steam now, as Justin will pull up side by side with the 23 of Bomar, trying to take away this race lead. Looks like he won't get it at the line, but has a pretty good chance to maybe get it perhaps down the backstretch.
Rowan actually has another meatball flag, so he's going to go on to pit road, get that repaired. And that's under green flag conditions too, so this time doesn't get a break. He's going to have to repair it under green and go laps down in the process.
Yeah, it looked pretty unfortunate there for that 28, but...
Not really sure where that next other meatball flag came off of, though.
Couple guys down on the apron again. Hopefully they can get back up above the yellow line before the corner. Indeed they do. As the inside kind of fell apart a little bit. Frimpong and Justin are still down there. Lost a bit of ground that they gained, but it looks like they're starting to gain it back. Looks like they're definitely a bit stronger in the corners, but they tend to lose some steam down the straightaways. Just interesting. $70 to go this time, so now we're starting to log in some laps.
And that higher side is holding up well. Bomar and Smith, seems as though we finally filtered out to see you know, what kind of people. Oh, Max Yurik.
Oh.
Yeah, Max coming down on one of those guys down there, but keep ourselves clean for the moment. But Bomar and Smith, they're the two guys. Oh, big bump there. Jafari pulls Frimpong a bit sideways, and that's going to pull that outside line forward. And Bomar and Smith, they're the two guys who are really starting to work this high side forward, and they're starting to pull away with
Yeah, it seems like every time the inside line gets really close to pulling even, something happens where they lose all their steam again. So they're and so there you go again. They have the momentum going, and then a couple guys drop out of line. So if they want to really get up there, those guys need to stop dropping out of line, because that just kills all the steam they've got. And now it's really gone, and it would not surprise me if a couple of these guys elect to move up to the top now.
Yeah, now we're starting to ride around here on the top side. Once you get two guys hooked up and going, as Hankins drops to the bottom, you could really start to make something happen on that high side and really start to, you know, as the term would say, dayline up there against a safer barrier. But what this inside line needs to do, they need to get themselves steady enough, and they have to have the right pushes being given. And the 33 of Justin, he went up to the high side to go ahead and side draft that top side. You got to keep yourself in line.
Yeah, it's kind of difficult for a whole line to side draft at the same time, and if one or two guys do it, they might be okay. As you see, Rowan Gill still pretty off pace there in the 28, as the inside line has finally pulled ahead of the outside after about 5 or 6 laps of trying. And Bomar's going to get turned out of turn 4. Yurik's going to get involved, and he's going to hit the inside wall as well. John A. Smith's involved, and watch out, the 13's coming back up the track. Hopefully nobody hits it. Oh, and people did. 21's in it. A couple other cars got into him as well.
Yurik's done for. Hunter's done for.
That 13 is destroyed. Caution back out here on lap 34. And thankfully for guys like Justin and Kiloa, they pulled ahead in just the right time, because they ended up ahead of that big wreck.
Yeah, people who took the big amount of damage off of that was actually was Max really flying back up the racetrack.
And see, 13 got the inside wall, and he can't control his car at this point. Right back up the track. Into the path of 21.
Is
into
that
the path
Jafari?
of 9.
No, that's at 86, Dominic Howe.
I think the 9 was involved as well, though.
Matthew Klein
Yeah,
somehow
at that point,
got damage. What the heck?
oh, what? Huh? York just lost it, and right into Matthew Klein in the 16. But yeah, the 13 got spun down and hit the inside wall, and at that point his car was destroyed. But I'm not sure what this was.
Yeah, I mean, Max did have a meatball flag, so that was probably uncontrollable. And now the 16 also has a black flag. I mean, meatball flag. So
That's unfortunate.
yeah, but
Totally missed the wreck, and that was with all that damage.
yeah, we'll see what happened though. I mean, I need to take a look at that wreck again.
I
Really,
think the 19 might have gotten into the back of the 23, but we'll have to get another look at it. But the 43 of Wilkerson, our pole sitter, was also involved. Had led the most laps tonight.
yeah, that's the 19.
Yeah, nowhere for Wilkerson to go. Nice job by Todriff to miss that. But the 19 came down into the 13. And once the 13 slaps the wall, that just gives that car so much damage. He can't control it at this point, and he just shoots right back up the hill into guys that probably thought they had missed this whole thing. There's the 23. Tank slapper for Urich, but again, just spins it right back up the hill and takes out 3 or 4 more guys. So the biggest wreck of the night takes place here on lap 34. A lot of guys back down on pit road for damage and or tires and fuel. And that's too bad because a lot of the guys that were in that wreck had been up there for the majority of the race. And it's going to be quite the challenge now to get that damage fixed and to make it back up there.
Hunter Johnson's done for. He's disconnected from the event. After Urich, really nothing he could do was on the brakes. The car just slid up right across the banking and right into the 12. And those are teammates right there. ACOG teammates, not iRacing teammates. Both of them running on Hunter running for Group Chat Racing, Max running for Supreme, but they run under one team under the ACOG standings banner.
Yeah, Hunter was that 21 car, the first one that got hit by the 13 as he came back up the racetrack. And again, nothing either of them at that point could do with the damage that Urich had sustained. Just one of those wrecks that where one guy kind of gets out of shape and it can turn over the nights of so many others so quickly. And in this instance, it did. As we get the one to go. 5 cautions now. Thankfully, more green laps than caution laps now with those 2 mini runs we've now had. Justin Johnson now the race leader. He'll lead us to the green. Montes Dioca now up into second. Paul Perez in third. He was involved in the first incident back on lap number 3. Miles Nelson and Ataconis round out the top 5, I believe. Inching our way closer to the halfway point. Still quite not there yet. But hopefully another run here coming up of green laps.
Rowan Gill, I mean, good riddance for him. He's going to be able to, repair a bit of damage, but he's 3 laps down, unfortunately. He's still trying to pull himself through. Dominic Howe, who was involved in that incident, if he didn't get involved, he would have gotten a rave round, but not only did he not, he got involved in it, so...
He got more damage to fix, Yeah, Rowan might be one of the few guys in this field that might want more cautions to come out, because the more they come out, the more laps he can get back and the more damage he can fix, but still 3 down for the time being. And we'll have 63 laps to go here at the line. Justin hits the gas. We are back underway. Bit of a slow start there for Montes Dioca. He'll file down to the bottom and leave the 00 of Miles to lead this high side.
Here it comes. Oh, boy.
Oh, switcheroo here. 33, 24 go up, 00 goes down. Just like that, looks like Miles Nelson will take the race lead here.
Yeah, I mean, Justin, honestly, he got too good of a restart. That car flung out about 5 car lengths. He got ran over.
Yeah, the outside's forming back up very quickly, though. And they should pull even here into turn 3. For now, the inside remains prevalent with Miles leading the charge. Ataconis now up into second behind him. Cole Perez getting himself now up into third.
Yeah, Justin, as I said, he got too good of a restart. That car shot out at least like 5 car lengths ahead, and he ended up having to play a bit of mind games there to switch lines and make sure he didn't get run over. And now he's not leading us there. It's going to be Miles Nelson, that 00 who is.
Yeah, the outside looks like the dominant line on that last run. Looks like the inside's becoming more dominant so far in this run. As one car gets shuffled out of line, and that's going to disrupt the outside even more than before. As the 36 of Kai Gomes will say, I'll just go to the inside. Then the 24 almost got turned there by Frimpong. The 20 shoots the gap between himself and that red car and almost gets turned anyway. You're out of turn 4. Oh my goodness, that was close. And they're still jostling around here in the tri-oval. At the stripe, it's Miles, but they're looking like they might wreck again soon. Hankins now leading the high side, but it's pretty disrupted. A couple car lengths between himself and Bingham in the 93. Now they're starting to bunch up once again. Perhaps could mount a charge towards the front.
Yeah, now we got a different pair of drivers who could really, pull themselves forward. That's going to be the 6 and 00, Miles Nelson and Justin Ataconis. It seems as though they want to control this bottom lane, but Justin Johnson, was in the middle of the pack, now... Oh, around goes Perez!
Cole Perez in the 40 spins, and despite it being a single car on the apron, it will bring the caution back out here on lap 41. Yellow number 6 of the evening. Little harmless loop out of the tri-oval. Should be good to go with 4 fresh tires. Of course, I'm sure some guys would have preferred that not bring out a caution, but about as harmless of a caution as you could possibly have.
Take a look here on Maxspeedtv replay. Yeah, that was pretty harmless. Probably our most tame caution of the night.
Maybe got too big of a push here from Frimpong.
Oh.
Yes.
Well, actually,
maybe got shuffled on the line first.
Yeah, I don't know if Frimpong or more of the 40 coming up, actually.
33 came down a bit too, I think.
Yeah,
at the same time, he just kind of got sandwiched. I think Justin came down to side draft at the same time he got shuffled out, and so it just put him in a situation where he had nowhere to go in any direction. Everybody else doing a nice job of slowing down to not check up into each other, and the 40 gets it right back going again. Yeah. So again, of course, a very harmless yellow, but a yellow nonetheless.
Yeah, I mean, we'll look at it again. Because I thought the 20 pushed the 40 up the racetrack, but looks like there was no contact there. It seems as though the 40 just got loose and through the tri-oval and
with Justin coming down to side draft, it just left him with literally nowhere to go except down across the nose of the 20.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Frimpong couldn't really do anything off of that, and he got involved in that whole entire ordeal.
A lot of guys coming down pit road. Looks like Miles will not, and a couple others also elect to stay out. Still not good at the end on fuel, of course, from here, but still a one-stopper after this point. Most of the field electing to come in anyway. Good opportunity for Rowan Gill to get some more of that damage fixed in the 28.
Still,
and I believe the
3
Lucky
laps
Dog
down.
should... Yeah. I believe the 86 should get the Lucky Dog this time, having not been involved.
Yeah, finally he's the free pass. About time Dominic Howe pulled himself. Now back on the lead lap.
I'm still not sure how he got a lap down to begin with. but it was fairly early on. And again, would have gotten it under the last caution, but he ended up being a part of that caution. Now here in lap 43, he will get himself back onto the lead laps. That puts us, I think, with 30 or 31. Yeah, 30 cars now on the lead lap. Uric out, Hunter Johnson out, Chase Nelson a lap down from the damage he got in the last yellow. So still a good chunk of guys left here out on the racetrack. And of course, Gill still 3 down as well. So despite the fact there's been 6 cautions, there's still a large chunk of the field remaining. Hopefully we can keep it that way for the rest of the night. Should get the one to go perhaps this time. And we do. So Miles will lead us back to the green once again. Adiconis to his outside in second. Todriff, Bomar, despite being involved 2 cautions ago, and Bingham, who's also been in a wreck tonight, round out the top 5. So now that we've had 6 or 7 yellows, we're slowly starting to get to that point now where guys that are even running up front have been in at least 1 incident. I'm sure as the night goes on, that'll become more common. So you'll also start to see the disparity there between clean cars and ones that are a bit damaged and different levels of damage. And that makes for another interesting dynamic, especially when drafting.
Yeah, I mean, now left with just about, I'd say, well, there's actually a fair amount of drivers who are still now 1 lap down. Matthew Klein, 1 lap down. David Bachman, who actually DC'd from the event, he's out for the race. Rowan Gill now 3 laps down.
Yeah, tough break there for Klein. Of course, he'd avoided the big wreck and then got hit by Uric under yellow. That gave him a meatball flag and enough damage, or he just decided to disconnect. So, tough break there for 16. We'll go back green here in just a second. Ace car down on the pit road. Miles Nelson, Justin Adiconis lead us back to the green. 56 to go this time by. Inside line, about 5th in line, did not go at all, and that's going to disrupt any potential progress they could make in the short term. Miles will help them get that momentum right back, staying on the bottom here out of turn 2. Todriff will now take over that 2nd spot.
Yeah, I mean, even though, oh, we're gonna go maybe 3 wide? No, never mind. Harry's gonna let Frimpong in line, but yeah, at the moment, we still haven't had huge dominance out of a couple of people. Usually, a pair of drivers would really control the line, but at the moment, it's not really happening. Everybody's not a lot of give and take at the moment. Not a lot of, you know, not a lot of people who are really doing a lot.
Not much give, but there's been quite a bit of take so far, as you saw Todriff make his way up to the high side, and he now reassumes the race lead. Down the back straightaway, has some help from John A. Smith and Bomar. So 2nd and 3rd, both have been involved in incidents tonight. Adiconis goes back down to the bottom in front of that 0-0. We'll try to mount another charge back up towards the front. As he had a bit of 3 wide, with 1 briefly getting the outside wall there out of turn 4. And it'll be Todriff leading at the line.
Yeah, now, oh man, that 89. Herbert was
Bit of an accordion.
all over that. Oh, now they're in the wall.
Uh-oh. And one's in the wall there.
That's Bundren.
Oh,
Oh!
31 and and Sartaj gets tagged. Caution's back out. And he's coming back down the track right into the path of another car. He got clobbered. Not sure who that is, but he had it missed in the 49. Didn't really lock the brakes up there and just came down the track and clocked him. Not sure who that was. We're going to look at it here. Where the 31 got shuffled out and put in the wall, and he just, I think when he got off the wall, he just got loose.
Yeah, it looks like
That's
Glenn.
Glenn Bundren.
Yeah, Glenn got in the wall. Everybody started
And he's trying to get
stack up.
off the wall now. And the thing with these walls is, of course, Sartaj did move up a little bit. But the thing with these walls is you kind of get glued into them once you hit them. And it's very difficult to get off of them without turning down way too much. And I think that might have been what happened there, where Glenn turns down right as Sartaj went up. And there's the 49 getting into that other car. I still can't get the number on that. Oh, Woody, maybe?
Yeah, it looks like Carmen Caruso.
Yeah, he thinks, oh, I missed it. And then out of nowhere, there's the 49 coming back down. That St. John's machine. Quite a bit of damage now as a result of that contact. And he's having some more trouble here down the backstretch. I think this might be a tow for him. What the?
Oh,
something's broken
mechanical.
on that car.
Yeah, something mechanical.
Looks like we got one car staying out. That's Todriff. John A. Smith also staying out. A lot of guys back down pit road again. As we will hit the halfway point under this caution, or perhaps we may hit it when we go back green. So, had quite a few yellows, but still slowly getting our way now towards this halfway mark.
Wave around 16, Matthew Klein.
We thought he disconnected, but it turns out no, he did not. Still in the session. Back on the lead lap he goes.
Yeah, finally he's free pass after that odd incident there with
Urich.
Yeah, Max Urich. He's on himself back into the lead lap, and here he is.
Another chance for Rowan Gill to get some more damage fixed, but still 3 laps down, so he's going to have to hope that more people don't get lapped, because obviously he needs to get the damage fixed, but if he's not the first person to lap down and somebody stays out, he can't get the wave around. So he's still going to have a tough time getting himself back on the lead lap, even if he does get all of that damage fixed up. As we get the 1 to go, so we'll hit the halfway mark, taking the green flag next time by. Of course, 49 laps completed, 21 of which have been under yellow conditions. Equal amount of cautions and lead changes up to this point. It's been a pretty entertaining race when they've gone green. There's just been quite a few yellows mixed in so far.
Yeah, I mean, Nelson. One lap down now. Rowan Gill, so 3 laps down, unfortunately.
Looks like it'll be Todriff leading us to the green, John A. Smith, Bomar, Herbert Solomon, and Bingham rounding out the top 5. You have to go back to, I believe, 6th place or 7th place, Justin Johnson, to find a past ACOG winner in this field. That's William Schmidt actually in 7th. Justin is outside in 8th. But only 2 people in this top 10 have won here in ACOG before. So that's quite the diverse makeup here towards the front. We'll see if any of these guys can add their name to the all-time win list here over the second half of this race.
Green flag.
Green flag.
Herbert Solomon just got the short end of that stick. Everybody got down to the bottom except for him. And now he's left to fend for himself in turns 1 and 2.
I'll get wide here in a moment. I'm pretty sure that that lead car, Todriff, he's kind of a sitting duck. I'm pretty sure Smith and Bomar, they've been working with each other this whole entire race. They're going to pull out here in a moment.
Herbert's got help as well. The rest of that outside line is caught up to him now. Did not take long for them to get there. As that's the 9 and the 72 now, Jafari and Hankins. As John A. Smith goes up, and nobody goes with him, so he'll be picked up as the new leader of the outside line in just a moment. Hopefully they don't accordion too much, and it looks like they're going to put him in the sucker hole instead. So the 19 is going to fall through probably to about 15th or so at least. But they're looking pretty dicey all around him. So hopefully they don't end up wrecking in the process.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Bomar is going with his, the guy he was working with has. I think it's Cole Perez in the wall.
Got one on the wall. Cole
Yeah.
Perez in the 40 keeps it straight out of harm's way. He'll drop to the back of this main pack.
Oh, they're still getting... Oh!
Oh!
Yeah,
Whoa,
Springpong had a
boy.
line. Luckily Sertage giving a bit of room there to, you know, keep him steady for the moment. But now, this outside lane, looks like it's Herbert. Oh, big wreck!
Big wreck!
Caution. Yellow
33 at Justin's hard into the outside wall.
Scott, man,
More
that's all the
trouble. They're
piling in
still
the back.
wrecking in here. The 10's in it.
98 Schultz in it.
Couple more towards the back. Looks like Dude, I might have gotten a piece of that. The 36, Kai Gomes.
Oh, that took out a bunch of people.
Wow. Yeah,
Kai
you cut to that-
Gomes, Scott Spanos, looks like Nicholas Bingham, Justin Johnson, all meatball flags off of that. That's 4 people with meatball flags.
That was huge. The camera cut right to that 33 going straight up the hill and into the outside wall. So we'll get a look, and the 19...
Oh, not
not
clear.
clear. Second time tonight we've seen the car do that. He comes back up the hill and clips the 33 hard into the wall. Sertage gets a piece of it as well. The 10 nowhere to go. Bingham nowhere to go. And then there they go, locking up further back, Kai Gomes and Schultz. I don't know what precipitated that, but somehow the 98 just shot up the hill into the 36. Yeah, that 19 of John A. Smith just was not clear to come down to the bottom. And when he comes back up off the apron, he just shoots the 33 straight on into the outside wall.
That's a 93. This is Bingham.
Eesh.
Dual 1 winner involved in that. 10. I'm not sure who the 10 is.
Oh, Kai got into Schultz further back. I think the 36 got loose checking up and spun down and hit the 98. Get another look at it here. It's a bit further ahead of this. Oh, no, here it is. He just went down a lane checking up, and he hit the wall pretty hard too in that. And gets into Schultz a second time there. Spins him totally around. So, big wreck here, just past halfway. At the very least, we'll probably take Justin Johnson out of contention. I imagine that 36 has a significant amount of damage now as well.
Yeah, a bunch of drivers, like Justin, looks like he has a black flag on his name at the moment, but... Yeah.
Yeah, that 33 is going to be there for a while, unfortunately.
Kai Gomes. Yeah, John Smith, he just wasn't clear. Came back down and... That 2 out of 3 on 19?
Back here, ready to take the green. Coming to lap 56. Todriff will lead us to it. Solomon, Hankins, Miles Nelson, Montez Dioka round out top 5. 45 to go here at the line. So now we're starting to get ourselves into the upper limit of the fuel window. So if we have another yellow here shortly, should be able to get to the end on fuel. Green flag back out.
Yeah, I mean, alright, get some cells, a good steady stream going at the moment. The inside line really starting to push itself forward, but I mean, nobody's really committed to, you know, running in line. See right there, Nitrofari, 00, they pulled out. John Smith serves as drive-through. All these guys, I mean, there's just no commission. Nobody wants to stay committed, and that's why everybody keeps pulling out, and you see all this wrecks. But finally, maybe the 72, maybe Hankins wants to log in some laps finally. Mark Frimpong says otherwise, though. He has a teammate there in the process. That 49, Sertage, they want to go. They want to go to the front and lead some laps, but...
I'm still surprised that 49 car's up there. He's been in 3 or 4 different incidents now, but somehow that 49 still finds itself up in 4th place. And that car is looking pretty strong. So we'll see what it's capable of here in this back half of the race. Todriff, meantime, still leads it here at Daytona. If you're just now tuning in, you've missed quite a bit so far. Had about 7 or 8 cautions up to this point. Currently got Todriff leading this thing in the 54. 24 caution laps, over 8 yellow flags, 7 lead changes, and a lot of good racing so far. 43 to go at the line. Hankins now up into 2nd place. Top 5, single file.
No, it's not. That's the 8? That's Zach Amon. Haven't talked about him all day. Now Hankins pulls out a line, so yeah, I told you, man. There's absolutely no give and take. Look at that high side form up.
Yep, and there goes everybody except for about Todriff there. It looked like the 72 is going to be all by himself, but now he'll take the lead with help from Miles Nelson and that 00. Ataconis now leading the top side with William Schmidt, who qualified 2nd, but we haven't really seen him.
Oh, there goes Hankins.
Hankins is not clear. He comes back up, and here we go again. This is going to be the biggest wreck of the night. Schmidt, Nunez, Wilkerson, Bomar all go through the grass. More cars are involved. 17 of Menshu's going through the grass. Now the caution comes out. Bit of a delayed reaction there on lap 59. And that one involved quite a few people. like the 72 was coming up to try to get the run, and the gap was not quite there. Seen quite a bit of that so far tonight, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, again, nobody's giving and taking. Once
Yeah,
Miles pulled
had
up,
the
I mean,
run.
looks like Hankins.
Yeah.
Hankins pulled up. Hankins pulled up on
And-
Miles, and I'm not sure what Hankins was doing off of that.
Oh, Grindle got clobbered by the 6. The 8 of Amon gets into it. He goes around. Sartaj gets hit again. That's now the 4th or 5th wreck he's gotten a piece of tonight.
Oh my gosh!
Whoa!
There's Jason
my-
Nelson.
Somehow got through all of that.
There's absolutely no give and take at the moment, and all these drivers, they just, whenever they have a run, they pull out rather than just stay themselves in line. And then we have all these stack ups, and I'm not really sure. They haven't gotten the memo. We're 60 laps in, 10, 11 cautions now. Varsity drivers just
9,
racing over
like
their
that.
heads, big time.
I gotta say, that wreck did look a lot worse than it was. There were quite a few cars that spun, but it looked like most of them just spun through the grass. Of course, Hankins got damage from hitting the outside wall, but I think the severity of that may have been a bit deceiving based on how it looked. Not sure if there were any meatball flags off of that, but I would imagine if anybody got one, it would probably be the 72. A lot of guys hitting pit road now here on lap 61. Should be good to go on fuel to the end of the night if you pit here. Estimated 40 to 45 lap fuel window. So now you're on the lower end of that.
Rowan Gill actually got the wave around finally, so Rowan now 2 laps down. He's slowly getting those laps back. It's just been a patient game for Rowan.
I think he's still 2 laps down though, but finally a bit closer to getting up there than he was before. Go green here with 38 to go. So again, anybody that pit this time, good on fuel, but of course not everybody did. So now we've got a bit of a split strategy. So if this thing happens to go green all the way, you're going to end up with a group of guys like Todriff and Herbert Solomon up here that are not going to have to pit and are going to be in a pretty bad spot. However, with the way that this race has played out, I'm sure we'll probably get at least one more yellow before the end. That will allow these guys to get that fuel they need.
Hang on, we're not going green.
Well, looks like we're not going green. Looks like a couple drivers. Oh, God.
Somebody's stopped.
Dominic Howe is stuck on the.
I don't know what
Howe
happened
just
there.
recently got the wave around, and
What the?
oh, he just looks like he just called it a night. Yeah, he just turned it left. I don't know. Yeah, he's just called it a night, and
Big hit there into the tires. That'll put us under yellow for an additional lap.
W2 Hankins is actually.
There he is. A lot of guys coming down to top off,
A fair amount of guys here to top off.
which for a couple will give them some extra fuel for any potential overtime restarts in addition to making it to the end of regulation. Todriff, Solomon, Montez Dioka, Cole Perez, and Bomar. The top 5 here for this restart. It'll be 37 to go at the line. As not sure what's going on behind that 24. The inside. Gotta get regrouped pretty quick here. Pace car is in. 54 hits the gas, and we are back underway here at Daytona.
Oh, Prez! Oh, there they go.
Oh my goodness. And they're around again. 32, 23, the 8. They're still piling in. 94 gets a piece. And we're right back under yellow again. The 19, also John A. Smith. 33 and 72, they get it stopped, and somebody did not go there, and they all piled in again.
I think Cole actually lagged out.
Yeah, something happened where he just came back into frame and immediately got shot down the hill. Got turned there by the 23, but yeah, he definitely lagged out, so not really anything Bomar could have done differently.
Yeah, Perez blinked out.
Yeah, right there. It looked like he was starting to go, but just a bad time, and then he reappears, and he's basically already on the quarter panel with Bomar. Nowhere for him to go. Jace gets involved. Sartaj got a piece again. There's the 19, the 8, the 32. They all get collected. There's Gil. Kai Gomes ends up spinning. Klein and Dudai sneak their way through. Oh, Klein! Oh, my goodness. He might have clipped Sartaj right there as well at the end. It's been quite the eventful evening for that 49 regardless.
Yeah, once Perez lagged out, I mean, they started to jam up and bottle up. Perez,
Oh, nowhere for Eduardo to go.
Yeah, Eduardo has
there's
a meatball
Kai
flag
getting
now.
turned, trying to avoid it. Oh, geez, and there's contact right at the end as well. So right back under yellow again. I think them at the caution number 10.
Yeah. So we hit the amount of cautions that we ran for the third 250. I think Rowan Gill, yet again, gonna get another wave around, so.
I think he's down to 1 lap now, or 1 lap down. Slowly but surely starting to get there. Get the 1 to go here to go back green. As Jacob Wilkerson, who won the pole for this race, led a bunch of the early portion, got caught up in a wreck or two, now finds himself back up in the race lead in late goings. He's got Jacob Dudai to his outside now in second. You see that 43 has led the second most laps tonight, behind Todriff in the 54. And that 54 lining up behind Dudai in fourth. Wilkerson's got Solomon behind him. And the 9 of Jafari rounds out your top 5. We'll have 33 to go, so you got a third of the race still yet to come. Had quite a bit of cautions, quite a bit of wrecking, but there's been some pretty good racing in between. Hopefully, we can get a run to the end here. Looks like Bomar's going to have an extended stay on pit road after running up front for a good chunk of the night tonight.
Hit it green yet again. Still looking for that, green flag run that we've kind of been looking for, but now with 23 cars on the lead lap at the moment, pace car is in. We'll see how this all goes. They're stacking up yet again, and Klein goes to the apron because of it.
Green flag back out. Hopefully they keep it straight though. 16's going to promptly drop out of the pack though, so he'll need another yellow to catch up. Wilkerson up to the top, leading Dudai. Todriff makes a move down to the inside. Wilkerson goes down with him. As the 43 and the 54 have been, I think, the 2 best cars overall tonight. They've led the 2 highest lap leaders throughout tonight's race. And now in the later stages, still find themselves up there at the front. So it would not surprise me if tonight's win keeps down to one of these 2 cars.
Yeah, I mean, we still have, still people are not, given and taken. You see, I mean, that 54 Todriff, he took the bait to go put himself in second spot, but now he's committed to pushing this 43. But I'm sure once he gets a run going, he's going to pull out with Dudai, and they're going to go. He wants to gun for the lead now.
He's thinking about it. And the thing with giving and taking as well is, of course, a lot of plate races, you see it's pretty mellow in the first half, and then towards the later stages, they start to only really take for themselves. But we've had a lack of giving and taking really all night, so it's of course, at that point, not going to start now. As we have a stack up in the middle of 3, Sartaj gets a bump for, I think, the 20 after almost hitting the 24. And I think Sartaj might have just gotten disqualified as a result of that contact. He has disappeared. Yeah, he's gone. I think the 49 might have just gotten disqualified as a result of... And That's really too bad. He'd been up there all night, but he'd also been involved in like 6 different incidents. So one less car to contend here for the rest of the evening. And with that disruption to the outside, it's allowed the inside to form back up. It's now being led by that 89 of Herbert Solomon. Now, Dudai makes a move down there to try to get this lead away.
Yeah, Dudai, oh, he's gonna stack up this bottom lane.
.30 to go at the line. Wilkerson still leads it, but here comes the inside with the 94 and the 89 leading that charge. Now Ataconis jumps down to the bottom.
Oh, look at Frimpong. Oh!
Uh-oh. Hankins and Frimpong are both out of shape, and they both come back up the hill, and after hitting each other, right into the path of the 70, I believe, of Grindle.
Oh gosh, they're gonna pile in.
Caution's back out, and we've got guys that are coming in from the back, and they run into the Hankins. Oh, jeez. That's the 19 and the 98. Hankins and Frimpong had been slowed down for quite some time, and
somehow
guys
no
had a bunch of
meatball.
space, and they just ended up running directly into them.
Yeah, they started moving while this whole entire back half of the field started coming up. That was bound to happen. Actually, Schultz and Smith already made contact prior, but...
Now, how did Frimpong and Hankins end up hitting each other? Because they weren't near each other initially. I think Frimpong might have gone to take it 3, or got grabbed by the 24 and thrown down a bit. They're both trying to save it.
Oh, it's Hankins just trying to come back up.
Yeah, and he didn't know the 20 was down there as well, and they ended up clipping the 70 in the process. Yeah, Hankins, of course, doesn't want to end up going into the grass because he'd probably spin out anyway. But
Harry,
ends up
bam,
coming back
man.
right up into the path. Yeah, there's the 70. And Frimpong went to gather it up and get it going, and unfortunately did it right in the path of the 19 and the 98. So another weird wreck there, and I think that's caution 11 now of the evening.
Somehow no meatball flag off of that. Especially how Harry, he
I'm
got
shocked.
slammed. He's still no meatball flag. That's unbelievable.
72 hit pretty hard, too. I'm surprised he doesn't have a meatball.
Even though, I mean, we've had so many cautions, 18 still all on the lead lap. Should get the 1 to go this time. And they do. It'll be Wilkerson and Todriff still leading us to the green as you see Hankins and Eduardo Munez make their way off of pit road just before the pace car reaches them. So they'll stay on the lead lap and rejoin at the rear. Rowan getting that 1 lap down, by the way.
And needs like one more yellow really, and he's just got to pass everybody else lapped down, and he might finally be back up there with a chance to finish well.
I'll be surprised who has the least amount of incidents this race, considering the amount of wrecks we've had.
Looks like it's that. I mean, that 17 looks pretty clean.
Yep, 2x only. Only a couple of incidents on Jackson Menchu's name. Ronan Gill has 4x.
Yeah, that 28 just got about the worst 4x possible.
Yeah.
And it really set him back the entire night.
Well, luckily, I mean, he stayed off since he's been laps down, he's been running toward the back and just stayed out of incidents. And, you know, he's kept himself in a nice spot at the moment, but...
And honestly, with the way that this race has gone, even if he gets on lead lap, it might still be beneficial to stay in the back for a bit. Because with the way this is all panned out, you know, I'm almost expecting like a green-white checkered at this point. So if you can kind of stay out of harm's way until then, you're probably in a pretty good spot. Wilkerson, Todriff, Solomon, Trafari, Montez Dioka, top 5 here. As we go back green, we have 26 laps remaining here at the line. Pace car is in, and we are back underway here for the last fourth of the race.
Oh man, Wilkerson, he gotta jump. But luckily that 50, yeah, like Todriff filled the opening there, but if he didn't, he would have gotten ran over easily. You go back green though.
And the inside just kind of split in half. I think Klein in the 16's got damage, and he's just did not go on that restart. And a couple guys from the outside dropped down, and looks like they're either shuffling him out or Klein voluntarily dropped below the apron. But either way, he'll go to the rear of the pack, as the outside is kind of gone for the moment, as Trafari and Ataconis are kind of there on their own, with Menchu a couple car lanes back. So at least for the time being, it's no man's land up there on the top. 25 to go, as the 24 and I think the 79 almost door each other there in the dry oval.
Again, not a lot of give and take.
Hasn't been all night.
Like, once the driver gets a run, once this, like, 54 gets a run, he's gonna pull out. They're gonna stack up yet again here in just a moment, but he's staying committed at the moment. At all entire top 5, but they're starting to stack up. Here you go. Who's gonna take the bait to go that high side?
Trafari jumped down to the inside.
There goes Trafari.
I moves back up.
There's a big gap between Dudai and Alejandro. Dudai, pretty sure is gonna move up high. Here he goes.
And nobody else goes with him for now. Oh, now the 79 does, but nobody ahead of him goes with him. Perhaps the 89 will think about it, or the 54. 54 and the 43, though, they've raced pretty well around each other so far and haven't really gone out of each other's way to make a run on them, despite them leading the 2 most amount of laps tonight. Perhaps that will change as we get closer to the end. And speaking of that, there goes Wilkerson. He tries to block the outside. He'll move right back down in front of the 54.
Yeah, Schmidt. Oh man, all over Dudai at the moment, but boy, he's spinning down.
Thought the 54 might have gotten into the 94 there for a second. And speaking of that 94, he will lead it at the line. Jacob Dudai leads his first lap of the night here with 23 laps to go. But can he lead the last one?
Yeah, Dudai, he dropped back down again. He didn't want to give and take. Schmidt didn't want to stay committed to that high side, and now this inside line pulls forward. But the 54 is going to pull up high.
And the 43, they both go.
Yeah,
and that leaves a huge gap on the inside. Now the 94 goes up, and Schmidt's kind of in an area on his own, but now the 43 goes back down, and the 54. So just like that, they shuffle up Dudai, and those top 2, once again, find themselves 1-2. Those 2 have worked really, really well together tonight.
Trafari.
Further back. Oh, boy.
Again.
54 moves up to block the 9. 43 goes with him. Now the 94 finds himself on the bottom. It's been a lot of this tonight.
Oh, and Bomar. Is that Bomar? No, that's 8. That's Zach Hammond. Oh!
Uh-oh, and there they go. big crash out of turn 2. That's just about this entire front pack, save for the 54. Wreck, caution back out here on lap 79. And that 9 car looks like it's not turning anymore. That was bound to happen with the way they were doing, or with the way they were racing. Let's see what... Did the 94 get turned here? I think the 8 ended up moving down. Oh, yeah, he did. Tags the 43. The 20's in it. The 89 gets a piece. 24 hard in the wall. 9 with a lot of damage. 19 misses this one. Yeah, I'm not really sure what Amon was doing there. He just moved down an entire lane and hooked the 94. And took the 43 with him. 33 also got collected. For a second real big one of the night. And again, that took out a large chunk of this front pack. And I'm not sure who's... Looks like Wilkerson's still 4th despite being in that, but... That redid the entire bottom half of this top 10. As Grindle now finds himself up there. Chase Nelson finds himself back up there. Cole Woody's in the top 10 for the first time tonight, as is Carter. And I believe this might finally be the caution that gets Rowan Gill back on the lead lap. After about 80 laps.
Yeah, it's about time. Jafari, unfortunately, the only person to suffer a meatball flag off of that whole entire... a lot
of guys with damage, though.
Yeah.
Of course, varying degrees of damage, but damage nonetheless. Frimpong, one of those. Dudai as well. These pit stops are going to shuffle around this top 10 even more. As it'll put Grindle now into the top 5, despite being involved in the second to last yellow. But with the 43 being involved in that, that leaves the 54 as really the only dominant car tonight that still finds himself up there. I think he's now led the second most laps. I think Wilkerson passed him on that last run. But everybody else has really been up and down for the entire race. So we'll see if that 54 can keep it up there and maybe take home the win tonight.
Basically, I mean, looking through the field at the moment, man, we're for sure gonna get a first-time winner. I don't think Schultz, Grindle, Klein, Johnson, Menshew, Dudai, Carter, Rowan Gill. You are correct, by the way. Rowan now back in the lead lap. Fortunate for Jafari, out of the event. Now he's just, picking up his 4 tires and such. But
yeah, we'll see what that 28 could potentially do here tonight. Now that he's finally back on the lead lap again. I forget exactly what lap it was when he had that contact with Bachman, but he was stuck a lap down, at least 1 lap down since then. And now, with under 20 to go, finally finds himself lead lap again and potentially in a position to gain some more spots. I don't know how strong that car is, if it could run up towards the front, but at the very least, with him being lead lap, he could pass some people. See a couple guys getting some damage repair that are trying to catch up to this pack. Eduardo Boa there. Frimpong also trying to Pit his way back towards the pack. As we're going to have 18 cars on the lead lap here for this restart, which will be 18 laps to go. Podriff, Schmidt, Solomon, Jace Nelson, Justin Johnson round out your top 5. Wilkerson, Schultz, looks like Ataconis, Dudai, Carter round out the top 10. Green flag back out here. Not a lot of laps left here to try to make a move. Outside lane was a bit sluggish there as the 89 pulls even with the 79 and will likely take over second here, at least briefly. And the 54 is kind of out there on his own. He's going to have to pick and choose which line to block here. He chooses the outside. 33 flings it down briefly below the yellow line. And we might go 3 wide here into turn 3. As Solomon now leads the bottom with help from Wilkerson, who was just in that last wreck.
No, Schmidt's committed to this high side. Oh, do we have a wreck?
I don't know what that was, but it didn't look good.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I guess that was kind of a...
Maybe somebody lagged out.
Yeah, somebody lagged out or something like that. We're going 3 wide. Nelson gets left up on the high side. First time we've seen this middle work.
And Nelson, and now he's in the wall. Keep it up there, or at least out of the way.
Oh, now we're going 3 wide.
Good. Look at Ataconis up the middle trying to take the lead away.
Oh, well, this is the first time we've seen that middle work. Now we're going 3 by 3. Watch out, they're squeezing.
Oh. Frimpong pushing the heck out of that 6 car right now into turn 3. And the 6 will jump down in front of Herbert Solomon. That was a heck of a run the 6 had down the backstretch and got himself to the front of that inside line. 16 to go at the line. The 54 leads it once again. Podriff been one of the best cars out here tonight. But, of course, the only lap led that matters is the last one. See if he can lead it.
Schmidt is committed to that high side. He's also have a teammate, that 98 up there. That's his SKS teammate, but still committing up to the high side. But here comes, I mean, the 20 and 33 have been working with each other. They have a wide open gap to the bottom to maybe make it work, but here comes Frimpong.
And I think Justin wanted to join him, but the 6 filled the gap too quickly. And now Mark Frimpong will take over the race lead from the 54 of Todriff, or at least will try to. It's a dead heat here at the line, but the 20 will pull ahead and get the lap led. 15 laps to go.
Not over just yet. I mean, Frimpong in the lead. He's a super speedway ace. He's won multiple super speedway races before. Look at them pinch though. At 54, I mean, Todriff does not want this 20 to lead this thing.
Risky business though, because if you pinch too much, you can get yourself turned. It's a real game of inches when you decide to pinch the line below yours.
And look at Justin Johnson has actually merged into the back end of that 79. He merged in. Oh man, he's pushing the pusher. That just spells bad game right there. And look at that inside line. It goes nowhere.
It just fell apart. And just like that, Frimpong went from leading to, looks like the tail end of this pack now, as Justin makes a move down to the bottom. And looks like Carter's going to join him down there. He's debating it, elected to go. Jace moves with him as well. So now he'll be trying to get the lead away from the 54 and the 79. Just like that, the inside went kaput, and now it's right back up there again.
That's Scott Spanos in the 10, being displayed as Robert Carter under that iRacing name, but that 10 is actually on the controller, so that's
had a solid run in it so far.
Yeah, has a solid run in it so far, but that's not what the 33 wants to see behind him. Is a guy who can't really push evenly. And that 79, that outside line, they're gonna go forward here in just a moment, and here they come yet again.
And I can speak from personal experience. It is much, much more difficult to try and draft like this on a controller than it is on a true racing wheel. Of course, I was running controller the other night in the Bronze Series race. It is not easy.
Oh, and yeah, Robert decided, Spanos decided to pull out, and he goes to the apron and out of harm's way, so... this outside line, has a wave of momentum, finally! I mean, now at the end of the race, nobody wants to give. It's all on the high side now.
And look at who is in 5th place. The guy that was multiple laps down for about 90%.
Oh, we got turned!
Oh, no! And I just jinxed him. There's no way. No! Rowan Gill was lapped down for so much of this race, and it just got himself up into the top 5, but he's still in the main pack, and he's still got guys behind him. So even though he hit the wall, not all hope is lost for that 28. And still, even with that contact, a remarkable recovery for him, given where he was early on in this event.
Man, yeah. That puts Mark Frimpong on the edge of DQ.
And we've already seen one car, Sertage, get disqualified tonight, so hopefully we don't have a second one. One car moves to the bottom at the end of this pack. Nobody else goes with him except for Hankins. They're not close enough to really make any ground up.
Yeah, finally everybody got singled out on this high side. We finally had 2 cars committed to really work with each other and make this high side work, and it's the 54 and the 79, but toward the back, everybody trying to make that inside, work. Nobody wants to go with him. Here comes Johnson, here comes the 6, and here comes Jace.
Yeah, this is the kind of racing I was expecting like 50 laps ago, but it's odd that it took until now for it to really start happening.
Yeah, about time, though. But now since Schmidt's found a guy he could work with, it's number 54, Todriff. You see how easily they've really strung out this field just because they're single file. And it's about time they figured that out. But now, 10 laps to go, it's probably gonna implode here in just a moment.
And we'll see when they decide to inevitably make moves, because of course they're not going to stay like this in the rest of the race. Wilkerson finds himself up in 4th. He's worked with Todriff quite a bit tonight as well. So we'll see if maybe those two decide to work together as these laps continue to wind down, but it's a 9-car breakaway at the front of this field, all of them single file. Menchu in the 17, first car in that second pack.
They're far a ways back. I mean, look at Menchu's, Frimpong, and Hankins. They're nowhere. They're nowhere near this lead pack.
And it's another 3 seconds from Hankins to Cole Woody leading that 3rd group of guys. So if this thing goes green all the way, it's likely going to be one of these 9 cars that takes home the win, but you never know what could happen from here on out. The 33 I thought was going to turn the 6th there. Thankfully he didn't, as those two and Jace now down onto the bottom. So 2 by 2 here once again. See if they can mount a charge back up to the front.
Yeah, I mean, Schmidt's such a good pusher. He is such a good super speedway pusher. You see here, he's not really... Actually, he is just about pushing this 54 through the whole entire corner, but he's doing it just light enough, so he... Oh my gosh, he might get turned. Oh, there they go again!
Well, he didn't, but somebody else did. That's Rowan Gill. Jace gets collected. He goes hard into the outside wall. That's Grindle involved as well. No yellow, though. As there's that second group. Menchu goes by. Frimpong, Hankins, they go by. Here's the 3rd group, and Jace just goes down the hill right into Dudai. No! And the 94 spins. Another car also collected, and there's still no yellow? Hello? I don't know how that wasn't a yellow, but like 5 guys just all wrecked. So they're likely out of it now. And we've only got 4 guys up here at the front. We've got,
now the yellow comes out. Yeah,
caution's up.
Yeah, late yellow there.
I was gonna say, with all that just happened, I was surprised there was no yellow, but now one indeed comes out, and this is gonna set us up likely for a potential 2 to go or 3 to go restart. In the meantime, we can get a look and see what started all of this. And it started with that 27 and 28 in the trial oval. Not sure what set this all off, but I think the 28 was the first car around, perhaps got too big of a shove. I think the 33 might have pushed the 70 into him there.
Oh yeah, I think
just a half a lane above him, and when he came back up, just got the wall. Jace tried to miss it. He ends up collecting the 70.
pow.
Hard right side hit for Jason. Now these two get it straight, and you'll see the second pack. Menshu's going to go by here. There goes Frimpong, and there goes Hankins. Those three. So we'll get another look at this first.
I'm not really sure to call out the 70 of turning when Rowan came down, but
33 was pushing as well, and then, yeah, those three go by, and then here comes the second little pack. That's Dudai and I think Spanos, and Jace just goes right down into them as if they aren't there. And
Yeah,
Dudai ends up with quite a bit of damage, as does the 10.
Jace broken steering on his car. Really?
I mean, broken steering, but I imagine, you know, that's still... I mean, whether it's careless or whether he couldn't do anything, of course, still very frustrating for guys like Dudai. Just nothing he could do. And the 27, the 28 both find themselves back on pit road. This is going to put some interesting guys up here now, as that puts Menshu now into the top 10 with the guys ahead of him that were involved. Schultz up there, Klein's up there. I think the scoring is still adjusting for Gill, so he might not be 10th. And yeah, there's Frimpong now up there. So a peculiar incident there to bring the yellow back out. One to go here. So we'll have 4 laps to go for the restart. Zach Todriff, who's led a large chunk of this race, lead us back to the green once again. Schmidt up there in second, where he started tonight's race. Herbert Solomon has quietly been up there all night, really. Third, Wilkerson won the pole. He's in fourth. Atikonis, Justin Johnson, Menshu, Schultz, Brindle, and Frimpong round out the top 10. I think that's Kai Gomes and Cole Woody right behind them. And that's really it for your main pack. Got 17 guys in the lead lap and varying degrees of damage between them. So we'll see if maybe over these 5 laps, the cleanest cars like Menshu can try to get themselves up towards the front, maybe shuffle some of these damaged guys out of line.
17 cars lead lap. And I don't even know which one of them are going to win it. I'm going to be honest. I mean, Schmidt, out of like experience and such, Schmidt's been in victory lane in multiple super speedway races before. Here he is yet again. And it's been a while since he's been in victory lane under the ACOG banner, but
here we go. Todriff and Schmidt will lead us back to the green. And it is back out here. 4 laps to go to decide the winner of the Daytona 250.
and all right, Todriff moves up.
And he'll control the run, of course. Solomon not getting a good jump due to the sitting duck if he stayed on the bottom. Now he runs the risk of maybe getting passed by the 89 down the backstretch if they can get a big head of steam here. So Todriff is going to have to do some really precise blocking here if he wants a good chance to win. as him and Schmidt are breaking away just a little bit.
They wanna pull this outside line forward. They have to string it out, but Justin.
No, he's not clear of Herm. Oh my.
Oh, he wasn't clear. There they go.
Oh no, there they go again. Schultz in it. Muniz. I think Cole Perez and also got a piece of that. Now we're in green-white checkered territory. As Justin wasn't clear and came down, that kind of jumbled everybody up. And something had to give, and it was the 98. Caution back out on lap 97. And yeah, Justin really forced himself down there.
Yeah, he wasn't clear.
Was not clear to do it. And the 98 came down across the nose of the 20 at about the same time. So those two things really weren't related. Nowhere for the 32 to go. Nowhere for the 40 to go. I think that's the 10 also getting into Schultz there. I don't know how he got above Frimpong like that. That was a bit weird. Yeah, regardless, Justin got lucky. That if the 98 didn't come down when he did that, he would have been right out of line and in a pretty bad spot. But that's going to allow him to keep his position up there. So after 98 laps, now going to be in a green-white checkered situation. And a brief reminder on how that works, of course. If they wreck on this green-white checkered, we'll have another one. And if they wreck on the second one, we'll have a third one. And if they wreck on the third one, then the field is frozen once the yellow does come out. However, if they wreck on the white, the race stays green, and everybody races back. And of course, nobody wants to see a race end under caution, but sometimes that stuff does happen. Hopefully, though, not tonight, especially with a race with as much on the line as this one has. Zach Todriff, though, has been the best car tonight, has led the most laps. Finds himself now in a position where he only has to lead 2 more laps, but he's going to have a whole host of guys behind him that are just as hungry for this prize as he is.
Yeah, green white checkers. So this will be the how many cautions? Not how many cautions.
I believe this is.
Yeah, this is our 14th caution.
14.
Right.
Yeah, it's been a lot.
But
so the most of any Daytona 250 up to this point.
Yeah, most of any Daytona 250 for sure. But it'll be the second ever time, I think. Hold up, let me take a look. No, it'll be the. This will be the 3rd out of our 4th times that a Daytona 250 has ended under a green white checkered. So last year we didn't go into overtime, but we had more cautions that we had, which was kind of interesting. But here we go yet again. I mean, man, Todriff is he's in a really good spot at the moment, and
yeah, he's got perhaps the best super speedway racer in the field to his outside, and he's got the guy he's worked one of the best with tonight behind him, and Wilkerson, who also won the pole. So he's got the outside pole sitter beside him and the inside pole sitter behind him as well. So interesting dynamic that we've got here, as it'll be Solomon and Justin Johnston rounding out the top 5 behind those 3. Ataconis, Cole Woody, Menchu, John A. Smith, and Grindle round out the top 10. And I think everybody up here has been in at least one wreck except for the 54 and the 89. So it's been a tale of survival here tonight. You only got to survive 2 more, but can you do it?
Man. You guys trying to split the middle. I'm not really sure what's happening over there, but... Oh, Cole Perez is blinking out. Green flag comes out.
His blinking out caused a restart wreck earlier in the race. Hopefully it doesn't happen again here. Todrick gets a nice run. He's got Wilkerson and Justin Johnson behind him here. Daddy heat for second. Todrick's got a bit of a gap between himself and Schmidt. He's
that
going to
outside
stay
line starting to stack. That's outside line starting to pull forward now.
Yeah, he wasn't able to block the outside. He would have ended up getting passed by Wilkerson. So Todrick, I think, took the best move there for his current position as the inside pulls ahead once again. Wilkerson, I don't know if he's going to be clear of the 79 to pull up. He is not. And let's see, are we going to make it to the white flag?
Yeah, we will.
Yes. White flag here at Daytona. One more lap around to see who's going to win the 250. Wilkerson gets a big bump from Justin, but holds on to it. When will he pull out?
Oh, everybody's single file now, so it's a waiting game until turn 3.
Here we go.
Justin's laying back, though.
Menshu's up to 4th. He restarted back in 9th, I think.
Oh, Todrick 58th.
I don't know if he got blocked down there or if he got shuffled. I don't know what just happened, but briefly
Here
went on the
comes
apron. Justin's up to the top side. He's got Schmidt behind him in turn 3. He gets shuffled out of line by the 79. They're 3 wide further back. And it's the 2 best cars of the night out of turn 4 as they wreck behind him. It's Todrick versus Wilkerson.
Here he
the
comes.
2 best cars tonight. Here comes the 43 trying to get it. And at the line, he does!
Oh
the
my
pole
gosh!
sitter, Jacob Wilkerson times the move perfectly and takes it away from Zach Todrick. What a run for that 43 to take home the win. Not very often on a super speedway do you see the pole sitter end up winning the race. But tonight, Jacob Wilkerson not only adds his list to the guys that did that, but he adds his name to the list of the Daytona 250 winners. Charlie Beyer, Peter Kenny, Daniel Falkingham, and now Jacob Wilkerson. He will take home $100 cash prize for his win, and he'll burn it down here on the front stretch.
Wow, you caught... Man, he timed it perfectly. Not a lot of people could do that, though. Not a lot of people could time it perfectly, but man, that 43, talk about perfect.
I think he had some help, too, because I thought Justin and William were going to have a great chance to maybe catch him on the high side. But then they got messed up into turn 3, and it became down fittingly to the 2 best cars of the evening. What a run for that 43. You could also get a look as well and see what happened to bring out that wreck. There was a whole bunch of guys that wrecked behind these 2.
Yeah, let's walk through that just whole entire final lap, though.
Yeah, so we'll get to see how Todrick ended up on the apron as well, because the camera wasn't really panned over to it when it happened.
Man, look how far that 43 and 54, how far they were out. Oh, that bit, I think...
It's a bit of a bump.
Yeah, I mean, they're just trying to push each other out ahead.
And now, it's really interesting to me that Menshu decided to stay on the bottom, because I think if he had moved up, Justin would have had a much better chance to win.
Ugh.
But Justin moved up, and they wrecked even behind those 3. Oh, no, Justin turned the 79. And then now, right here, it's down to these 2. Wilkerson makes the move, and at this point, there's really nothing that Todrick can do besides side draft and try to force him up the track.
Wow.
You see him try to do that, but it just was not enough. And the 43 ends up taking it home. Now we'll focus back here as Justin just came down and hooks the 79. I don't know what the deal there was, but it collected, I think, the 19. Oh, Woody also got in it.
Oh my God!
Oh! And Harry ends up going flying. There's the 24 drifting through the grass. So we didn't see that at first. But Harry ends his night flying through the air. That was something. have another look at it back here at the air that 70 car just got. These are guys also involved in this wreck. So you're going to see Justin Hook William here, right there. Brendan gets in it, John A. Smith as well. And then I think somebody hit the 70, because there was a whole second pack back here. Oh, God. Couldn't tell who that was, but that whole second pack was quite a ways behind, and obviously it's the last lap. They're not going to lift, and they all just flew in and clobbered these guys. But here's your move for the win once again. As well timed as you can get it. Wilkerson v. Todriff, and the 43 comes out victorious.
Just by that much, man. So close. Reminiscent of the first ever Daytona 250. Where Charlie Byer beat both Grayson Trexler and Garrett Hess at the line, and man, that's the difference of $100 versus broke.
Yeah, congratulations once again to Jacob Wilkerson on the win. Great move there at the end.
Now, full results going to be showing on your screen. Is that Wilkerson, Todriff, Menchu, Adiconis? Gil rounds himself out top 5.
Wow. What a run for him after everything he was in tonight. Hankins.
You got Solomon, yeah, and after that, Munoz, Scott Spanos, then after that, it's Justin Johnson.
Yeah, still ended up 10th. Andrew Schultz, Cole Woody, John Smith, William Schmidt, Klein, Harry Grindle after flying through the air there on the last lap. He ends up being the last car on the lead lap. Cole Perez, Kai Gomes, Alejandro Montes de Oca, and Mark Frimpong round out the top 20.
Udai, Nelson, Trafari, Amin, Sertaj, Gomar, Dominic, Miles, Bingham, Bundren ran that top 30.
And the last couple guys on the field, Carmine Caruso, Bachman, Max Urich, Hunter Johnson, Paul Harrell, Aaron Mulrooney are the last finishers. Rafael Ruiz and Henry Tabor did not start the race here tonight. There is your finishing order, but the show is not over yet. We'll be right back in just a moment with interviews for your top 3 finishers.
Back here live for the ACOG Platinum iRacing Cup Series. And dragging our top 5 for interviews here in just a moment. But man, what a race. I mean, I wouldn't say what a race. It wasn't too much of a race due to the fact that most of the races ran under caution, honestly. But when it came down to closing time there for those final 20 laps, that's really when things started to ramp up. See 14 cautions in total. Really a caution-filled race, but in my opinion, we definitely crowned a very, very worthy winner. This number 43, Jacob Wilkerson, and we're going to drag him into the booth here in just a moment. See on what he has to say about tonight's event, and into the booth he goes. Hey, Jacob, you got a copy?
Yep, I do.
Jacob, man, congratulations! I mean, it was a caution-filled race from start to finish, of course, but when it mattered the most, you passed Zach Todriff for that final spot, and you picked up the checkered flag, just half a car length over that number 54. Not only did you win tonight's first points-paying event, you have $100 on your name as well. Congratulations.
Yeah, that race was really fun. Started on pole, just being patient throughout the race, working with my teammates in the VC. Zach Todriff, he's a great guy. We've been working together the whole race. And yeah, for the final lap, we were doing the strategy to where we would make sure that one of us was going to win for sure. And that was when I made the move coming to the tri-oval to win the race.
Yeah, that's just great teamwork between you two. That's right, man. It was a lot of fun between you two because not only you were working with Todriff as well. That's 1 and 2 for your team. So, man, that 43, that 54, they were the pair to beat. And luckily, you were up front during that white flag, and when it came down to the end, it was just you two by yourselves. So, overall, I mean, besides that, unfortunately, with all those cautions, we didn't get really a green flag run in. But how was the car out there?
The car, on old tires, it could get a little bit loose off the corner a little bit, but I was just like being a little bit easy to where if you like, sometimes the car would just get light, and if you're like pushing someone in front of you, you could accidentally spin them out. So yeah, just being a little bit easy to push in.
All right, bud. 10-4. Jacob Wilkerson rounds himself out in victory lane for his first ever ACOG event win. But before we let you go, any sponsors want to thank you for tonight?
I just have to thank everyone at Team PBR, Burn Rubber Racing, Zach Todriff. We've been really good teammates throughout the race, and you for broadcasting. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
All right, bud. 10-4. Jacob Wilkerson rounds himself out in victory lane. We'll see you coming next week, man, or in your next race. We'll drag in our second place, the man who led the most laps. That was Zach Todriff in the number 54, but unfortunately juked out by your teammate coming at the line there. Zach, P2, but you led the most laps. Talk me through it.
Yeah, man. I'm not the type of person to wreck a teammate for a win or move a teammate or bump him. So I figured once we got together, he was going to make the move. It was just a matter of fact when he was going to make the move. Then he did it in the tri-oval. I thought we were going to edge him. I was like, maybe. My spotter's like, get him. And also he got me at the line. And Jacob Wilkerson, you guys don't know much about me. I run PBR. I picked up Jacob Wilkerson a few months ago, and ever since then, me and him been a dynamic duo on these super speedways. And it showed tonight for you guys up in the booth, up in the people, the fans that are watching. I think we led almost all the laps, just me and him combined. So, yeah, other than that, P2, first start in this league. Hopefully we could come back, run some more, and have another shot at winning.
All right, bud. 10-4, Zach Todriff. I mean, you were working there with your teammate, Wilkerson. Anybody else you had on the racetrack you were helping with?
Yeah, we had James Bolmar. He was involved in a wreck, and then John A. Smith, he was involved, and then William Schmidt, he came in the picture at the end. He was working with us, pushing me when we had that long green flag run towards the end, and pictures the the pictures just played right for us, and we were there at the end, and we got P2 with a with a not damaged race car, so we'll take it and move on.
All right, but 10-4, that 54 Zach Todriff rounds himself out in second place. Started himself in 7th, but before I let you go, any sponsors want to thank you for tonight?
I just want to thank PBR guys. I just want to thank my spotter, Sean Rowe, and the Burt Rubber Racing Warehouse merchandise company for giving us a good car.
All right, but 10-4, Zach Todriff rounds himself out in 2nd. We'll go ahead and see you come next race, man.
Thank you.
All right, in 3rd spot, man, his whole entire team, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. That's Jackson Menchie, who's going to spark off this team dominance in this top 5. Menchie, you're there at the end of it. You avoided that final lap wreck, but you weren't in contention there at that little final lap. But man, of course, this caution-filled race, classic ACOG race, I guess you could say. But Menchie, P3, how about that?
I don't know, man. Avoiding all those wrecks, I felt probably as sick as you did in the booth there, man. I was just going for all those wrecks, trying to avoid it. Trying to do my usual strategy is just to stay in the back till like 15 to go and be up there in the front, have a shot like I did today, and I just didn't have enough. Just didn't have the partnership behind me with my teammates. They weren't close enough on my rear to catch it to the top 2, but we were close.
Yeah, you had Ataconis and Gil right in the background, 4th and 5th as well. But if y'all were grouped up together, do you think you had a shot? You think you would have had a shot for that win?
Oh, for sure. We were pretty assertive on making sure if we didn't win, we were gonna have free wrecked cars at the end of the race, but just wasn't enough. All week we've had really good strategy, and we've been at the front in all of our races here at Daytona and the ACOG series all week, and we were just really close, but once again we just came up a little short. But we had good dominance, and as you said, free cars in the top 5, pretty good to start the season off. All
right, by 10-4, that's Jackson mentioned in the 17. But before I let you go, any so much want to thank you for tonight?
Yeah, man, love to thank you. Might not have been the race everyone wanted with all the wrecks, but at the end of the day, it's Daytona. You're gonna have that stuff happen, and appreciate you guys for the officiating. Appreciate you, Dewey, for being in the booth, and want to thank all the admins, and want to thank Logan Cozy Driver Development as well as all my teammates, and wish you guys the best. Thank you.
All right, by 10-4, that's Jackson Menchie, rounds himself out in the 3rd spot, and I think we'll go ahead and drag in. I think that'll be it here for interviews here for tonight. Just the top 3 we're going to interview out here. But we'll go through the order yet again one more time, kind of scroll you through on where everybody stands. Wilkerson, Todriff, Menchie, Ataconis, Gill around the top 5. Yeah, Hankins, Sullivan, Munoz, Carter, and Johnson around the top 10. Schultz, Woody, Smith, Schmidt, Klein around that top 15. Got Grindle, Perez, Gomes, Montez, Dioka, and Frimpong round out the top 20. Dudai, Nelson, Trafari, Amon, Sertaj, Mon. You got Bomar, Howe, Nelson, Bingham, and Bundren. Caruso, Bachman, Yurik, Johnson, and Harl round out the top 35. And Mulrooney, Ruiz, Tabor round out the rest of the order. Thank you all for tuning in here for the Maxspeedtv Live. I know I can't really commentate as well due to the fact that I'm sick still, but hope to be back in better shape for tomorrow and as well for the rest of next week. One more Daytona race to run. That's the Xfinity Series. Until next time, we'll see you later.